Hello, and welcome back to the Write Your Path podcast. I'm your host, Lolly Spindler, a writer, editor, book doula, and writing coach. And today we have our first guest. Today we have Caro Pérez, who is a vibrant, vivacious, wonderful woman. Caro and I met through Atma, the local yoga studio here that I consider my sangha, my community. And this year we went to India together. And then when we got back, Caro became my bhakti coach, basically about singing and mantras and playing the harmonium and all beautiful things. So now she's on the podcast. Caro has a very beautiful coaching business. And so as a spiritual entrepreneur, as a badass female, I wanted to invite her on so she can share a little bit about her path and how she got to where she's at. So first, if you just want to tell us a little bit about you personally and how you ended up in Mexico City and where you're from and all that good stuff.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I love this. And let me say just to start that I just admire you so much. And I admire what you do and like the inspiration you give for people in their creativeness. It's so inspiring. And so thank you for the invitation. How did I get to Mexico City and how did this crazy thing around spiritual business coaching started? Well, it never was my plan. Let's start there. A lot of my coaching women, because I coach women, they come to me with like, hey, Caro, I know I need to find my purpose. So I'm here to find my purpose. And to be honest, my honest, truest answer to that is like, you don't find your purpose. It doesn't come to you like an aha moment all of a sudden. It's something that you find through life, through living. It comes to you actually. And that's exactly what happened to me. I've been a singer my entire life. I never questioned it. It was just something that it was given through my context. My family, my friends, since I was like growing up, everyone was like, oh my gosh, she has like this amazing voice. She's of course gonna be the next Shakira. And I'm from Colombia, so people were like, she has curly hair. She's like the next Shakira of the next generation. And I literally bought it entirely. I was like, well, 100% I'm gonna be that. Like I write my songs, I play the guitar, but I never really questioned if that was something that I wanted to do. I just was thrown to that box. And then I went to music school, I studied jazz in the university, but there was something missing. And there was also something like dying inside of me. Even though on the outside, it looked as if I was living my dream. Like I was singing, I was playing music, I was on TV, I was on radio, I was like doing it all, but I didn't feel, it felt like, okay, if I'm doing all of these things, like why am I so unfulfilled? And life and its turns and twists started like taking everything from me. So I graduated from college and that left a lot of space. Then I had like 4 jobs and one by one they started like ending. And like either I quit to one and then the other place closed and then the other one I was kicked out. And suddenly I found myself with no job, nothing else to do in my house. As a just graduated musician, like, what the fuck am I doing with my life and what am I gonna do for the rest of my life? And to be honest, I wasn't thrown into a family knowing about mental health or anything. So I was just like, okay, I'm just bored. But it wasn't boredom, it was depression. And so during that depression, one day I got like a lightning bolt and I was like, I think I need help. And I had met one of my super like far away cousins of a cousin of a cousin. He lived here in Mexico City and we had a call. He was like, hey, come to Mexico City. Like you can take these coaching courses to see what's up with you. And I was like, no, but like my savings are for my album. And he's like, no, man, like you seriously need to like take a dip, like really deep dive into yourself, because there's no album that can save you from this. There's no dream that can save you from this. And he was right. I came to Mexico City, I came to heal, and I wasn't planning to be here for the rest of the life that I've been here in Mexico City. It just happened to find me. And
Yeah.
when I got here to Mexico, a few weeks later into the coaching program, I was seriously making myself like the hardest questions of my life.
Wow.
And during that process, I had to go through the biggest earthquake of Mexico in the last 30 years. And so I was in the middle of Condesa when it happened. And you're never really prepared for like for a disaster like that.
Yeah.
There's no way you are prepared for that. In Colombia, we don't even have earthquakes. Like, and so there's something about watching everything around you fall.
Yeah.
And there's something about seeing everything around you just destroyed and lives destroyed, and like how fragile we are against Mother Earth, and and this thing that was missing from me, just there was something that came alive, and I just started helping for like 2 weeks straight. I paused my life and I started helping, and we created a centro de acopio, which is like where people come to drop like donations and help and everything. And I became suddenly one of the 4 leaders of the community.
Wow.
With no idea where I was. Like I didn't know what Calle Medellin was, you know? Like I had no clue where I was standing, but there was this leadership that was like born in the moment, and this service that I had never known before, something bigger than myself. And that's when I really got into the big question, like, am I living my life for it, like for myself? Is that really a life that I want to be living? Like chasing a Grammy? Is that really something that's gonna fulfill me? And then the answer was no. And so I stayed here in Mexico. I went through the entire coaching program. I switched careers. I basically quit on music, and I started doing workshops around self-love and like big life transitions, and like how to burn your life down, and like trust that there's something bigger on the other side. Because for me, that was it. Like I never in my entire life dreamed of living in Mexico or changing careers or being a coach. Like what was that? You know, like that wasn't even in my sight. And here I am, almost 9 years later, with a full business, with a full life, a full community. I've dedicated my life to spiritual coaching and self-love and embodiment for all this time. And then music found its way back to me, and now I teach mantras, and I sing, and I do kirtans, and it's another way for my creativity to just flow without the pressure that I was putting myself into the music. And like you never know. I thought my purpose was singing and following that Shakira dream, but honestly, if I wasn't open to just living without searching for an external purpose, this would have never found me.
And it's really interesting how basically your two loves have merged of singing and service. And now you sing in service to not just yourself, but your community and like a higher power, whatever you want to call it. So I think that's really beautiful. Those things kind of came together.
And to be honest, I also feel like we're always chasing something that we can see. So of course, I was chasing the Shakira thing because that was what I could see that existed. It was like the top of the top. I was like, okay, I'm a singer, I write songs, this is what's available, this is the path. But the path that I'm in right now, I had no reference point. Like, I didn't know that you could do mantras. I didn't know that also you could do coaching. I didn't know a lot of things that I do today. It's been a reference that I've created out of the blue and my intuition as well. But it takes boldness to listen to the inner voice that it's telling you like, no, like that's not how it's supposed to be look like. Especially when we're so obsessed with control of like, and of safety, of like, I need to know how it looks like before I move. And to be honest, I've moved way more before knowing how it's gonna look like. And then the vision found me as well.
And I think something you said that really resonated with me was like when you were in that moment and you were like, I want to burn everything down. Like this is not the path for me. It's like this inner knowing that happened to me when I was working my only office job that I've ever had for 1 year. And I was like, I am like gonna kill myself if I stay here. And it was just like, I had no idea what I was gonna do, but I knew that was not what I like. I had to get out of there.
Yeah. And sometimes we just only need that. Like, this is not it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But this is not, so I'm just not going to.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people stay there.
Yeah.
A lot. Like, most of the people stay there in the not knowing until I know something, I'm gonna move.
Yeah.
And always, I know it's bold, but what I always tell is like, what if you just move, and that's what's gonna get you to where you have a clear answer.
Yeah. So what do you recommend for someone who's like stuck?
Moving. Like people are stuck thinking. And that's because that's the world that we live in. Like we worship intelligence. We worship the mind. We worship getting everything understood and like having everything clear and getting under control.
Yeah.
But the truth is we forgot movement. We forgot that in movement, in taking actions, in taking little steps, like really, really small steps, is where you start advancing.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I wouldn't recommend to people burning their life like I did.
Yeah.
There were a lot of signs that were telling me before I burned my life down, before my earthquake came to my life. There were a lot of signs before that I was not in the right path. There were a million signs, but I was not listening to myself. It was too comfortable staying there, even though it wasn't. I was like literally dying.
Yeah, it's like more comfortable to stay in the discomfort, which is so
insane.
Ridiculous.
It's so insane.
Once you say it out loud.
Exactly. But then again, like when you tell me what would I recommend to someone who's stuck, start by moving. And it's like, yes, but you're stuck. Yes, I know. But the way to get unstuck, it's like, just move one little step at a time.
Yeah.
You won't advance if you're just sitting there.
Yeah.
But maybe one day you get up off the chair.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, you just give one step. And then before you notice, you're out of the room, you know? And it's a slow process. I feel like we're living in a world that it's all the time, like so, like in an insane speed, like so fast. And I feel like that's why we want to get everything in our minds planned out before we move, because we want to keep up with the speed. But the truth is, like, really good change and really good lives are built on slow, aware, and aligned movement.
Yeah. And I think one of my favorite quotes that I think really applies to this is a Seneca quote that's, "We suffer much more in imagination than in reality."
100%.
And it applies to so many things now. I find myself saying it all the time because it's like even the smallest things that we talk ourselves out of, once we actually do them, we're like, that took me 5 minutes and I spent an hour thinking about it.
Or a lifetime.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a lifetime. Like, I remember that it wasn't even, like, when I came here to Mexico, I remember thinking about how was I going to tell my parents that I wanted to quit music if it was something that I've done for my entire life and they paid every career course, like since I was 11. I was like, how do I do this? And I remember thinking for months how to have that conversation. And of course, it was a shit show when I told them. But when I told them, it took me like 3 minutes. Like, hey, guys, this is not it. Bye. You know? Like, it wasn't that big of a deal, but in the mind, it created so much more sufferance and resistance than the actual call.
Yep.
So move.
That's another thing.
A little.
Yeah.
Like, move a little, and then you'll figure it out on the way. You know?
Yeah. And once you do it once, then you're teaching yourself that it's not as bad as you thought it would be. It's not as hard. It's not as stressful or whatever you're telling yourself it's going to be. Once you actually just do it once, you're just training your mind to be like, oh, right, remember when I did this last time?
Exactly.
It's not that terrible.
Yeah, and training the mind and trusting the body as well. Because the one who moves you, it's not always the mind. It's the body. Like, sometimes you just, when you jump into the cold pool, it's your body the one that's jumping, you know? Yeah. Like, it's not the mind that's like, okay, I'm ready. No, sometimes you just jump knowing that you're not ready for the cold that awaits you, but it's the body that's moving you. And I feel like so many people are disconnected from the body because we've glorified so much the mind that we cannot trust something that we don't know. And I feel like that's why I've like gotten so geeky about the body, and especially for women, like the body and the voice. We've been shut down, shut up, like displaced. And so we have this love-hate relationship with our body. So how can we trust ourselves to move, to defend ourselves, to stand our voices if we're disconnected from our instrument, from our element that moves us? And so, but I feel it's a general thing. It's not only for women, for men as well.
Yeah.
Like we're disconnected from our bodies, but I feel like when we do that connection, then everything can start a new pace.
Yeah.
And a new understanding of yourself, of life, and of walking through life.
Yeah. And I do love that about our voices, because even in my programs, they're writing, and we think of writing as like something very private and like introspective and something that is for us. But I really encourage my students to practice speaking aloud what they're writing, even if at first it's just to them to hear themselves, and then to share with like a partner or a roommate, and then eventually maybe a friend, or start like sharing their work with more people, because I think that's what we're writing shouldn't just be for us. Obviously, if it's like 100%. A personal journal, of course that's different, but like there's so much beauty in what people are writing and then they never share it. And I think that's so sad. And I'm like, no. Like, I want you to start sharing it. So I like make my students, like we do like a whole voice activation where I'm like, even if it's recording on your phone, just practice. You can hear yourself, because I really think there's a lot of power in that voice activation and sharing ourselves and our work with other people.
Yeah. So the voice is the bridge between the mind and the heart. It's what connects the mind with the heart, but also it's the bridge from our inner world with our external world. The voice, is the one in charge of manifesting reality, like getting our imagination into the reality. And I like to think about it like more on my own spiritual practice and level. You're also making a contract with a frequency with the universe, because in the end the sound of your voice holds a frequency. One thing is when you have that voice inside of you, like in private, like, oh, I'm protecting something, like nobody can see it, nobody can judge, nobody can. But the truth is, when you're speaking out, when you're singing out, when you're getting this, you're also getting yourself as an expression out of you, with all the risk and vulnerability that takes. Like being out there is scary for many people, but also is the expression, like the purest expression of yourself getting out. The voice tells us so much about about the people and our belief systems and how confident we are or not. And the sound of the voice can also be really healing sometimes. Like we feel like healing comes only from mindset and the mind, but just speaking out, like in your exercise of writing and then speaking it out, that can be so powerful and so healing. Just to share yourself with somebody and be listened to, that in itself is so much medicine for many people. And so the voice holds so much power.
And I really do think vulnerability is our superpower. Like the more vulnerable we are,
100%,
the more the world, the communities you're in, everything will start opening up to you. 100%. The more you put yourself out there. And so I really think the voice is, like you said, that bridge, because it is a physical manifestation of our vulnerability.
Yeah. And I don't know if you're familiar with Brené Brown, but she speaks about vulnerability a lot. And I love that she also says that two of the most vulnerable expressions of the human being is singing and dancing.
Oh, I love that.
That is like the two expressions of the body that are most vulnerable. And if you really think about it, like there's a ton of people that say like, oh, I don't dance. Yeah, but why?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't sing. Yeah, but why?
Yeah.
And if you really, really scratch the surface, it's because they've been told that they don't do it good, that they're not good at it, or that they might be judged for it. And so getting yourself out there and expressing that, it is vulnerable.
Yeah.
It is really open for most people, But vulnerability also, in her words, Brené's words, is what creates connection, human connection.
Yeah.
So that's a necessity we have as human beings. Being connected requires vulnerability. And creating community, creating healthy relationships require vulnerability, require the expression of your soul put out there. It doesn't do service to anyone that all your beautiful being is stuck inside just because you're scared of what might happen. The truth is we will never be able to control it. Never, ever. So if you cannot control what other people think about you, you might as well just put it out there, and maybe you get a beautiful connection out of it.
Yeah, I really love that. And it's really funny that you said, you know, the most vulnerable states are singing and dancing, because when I was younger, I was in choir, I did musical theater, I was like always singing. I mean, dancing I never lost. I still do my touchdown first.
Of course.
But it was something that like went away, and I didn't really know when that happened.
Okay.
And I think it was like probably like high school. It was like the cool kids don't sing, you know. So like I was like, okay, well, I can't do that anymore. And so like even like when people would go to like karaoke, I'd be like, I'm not gonna sing, but like I'll be your backup dancer. And then I remember at the New Year's Eve retreat, at Miss First New Year's Eve retreat, we did, I think you did a couple workshops, but I remember when we were in like the caves.
Right.
And we were like in this magical cenote in Quintana Roo, no?
Yeah.
That's where we were. And so it's like, first of all, just trying to set the picture, like paint the picture. It's just like you're in this beautiful like cave, and it's like lit up with all these candles, and it's like there's water, but it's completely still, so it just looks like a beautiful mirror. And there's like all these people, and there's like instruments and people singing, and then I was like, oh my god, like where am I? You feel like I was transported to like an alien world.
Right.
It was insane. And so then we like started singing all together, and I heard myself sing, and I started crying. Because I was like, I hadn't allowed myself to be vulnerable. I hadn't allowed myself to sing like that and just like fucking go for it in so long. And I was just like crying, and it's like all this beautiful. I was like, where am I? Oh my God, what's happening? And so like that was so beautiful. And ever since then I was like, okay, Lolly, this is something that you need to like bring back and reintegrate into your life, because this was a part of you and it went away. So now it's time to bring it back. So.
Right. Thank
so
you
really
so
beautiful.
much for sharing that with me. I love it, because I do remember so vividly that day. Like it was, for me, it was a really special one as well, because I also, even though I've been a singer my entire life, I also lost my voice in that. I lost my voice trying to sound like someone else. I lost my voice trying to learn all these twists and runs of these amazing singers, trying to be somebody else's voice rather than my own. And the healing journey with my own voice has been more about freedom and letting loose without thinking much if it's gonna sound or how is it gonna sound. And I remember vividly that day, because guiding people through that process was also for me really liberating. It was like, this is how I want my voice to be used of, like in service. And we were also, that day was really special because we were in a silent day.
Oh, that's true.
It was completely silent, and then we broke the silence with
that
activity. And I remember telling people, like, just listen to yourself. And I feel like your experience and my experience of that same activity is really similar to how a lot of people live in the world. Like we forget to listen to our voice, the inner and the outer expression of it. We forget, and we just buy ourselves this stupid belief systems that we start hearing along life. And it's not like you forgot your voice. It's just, she's just waiting for you there, the true one. Like the true voice is just waiting for you underneath all the shit that we've put up with the years. And every time that people tell me like, oh no, I don't know how to sing, I'm like, yes you do. We just forget, or maybe you haven't really tried. You haven't really been to the right space with the safe container where you're allowed to just be this vulnerable part of you that just allows to be like wild and go and just loud maybe, and even like explore that side of it, because we all have that. As a matter of fact, like if you think about it, kids are not thinking about how loud they are. And kids are not thinking about if they're in tune with whatever song they're making up in their minds. That's something that happens to all of us. We lose that in the years of adulthood, or I don't know, like being a teenager. But the truth is, like, our nature is free. And so
is vulnerability.
Is vulnerable.
Yeah.
That's our nature. And
yeah.
I would never tell a kid like, hey, like you're doing this wrong. Like, please be more in tune. You know, like you're off key. No mames, obvio no. You know, like that would never happen.
Yeah.
And so, but I feel like we hear those imaginary voices and then we shut it down. But there's so much power in our voice because there's so much freedom.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Vulnerability sets you free, and singing and dancing, it's just a means to taste in a body way that freedom. Freedom of your mind, freedom of what you've learned, freedom of perfectionism, freedom of external judgment. It's just liberating.
Yeah.
Like singing in a concert is freaking amazing. Like you're just like, ah! And
yeah.
it takes out so much like energy and it takes up and makes you feel amazing because it's really liberating. You're not thinking.
Yeah. And I love that example of the kids because I was just at this retreat in Valle de Bravo with Chelsea and there's like a few people who like work on the property and this man's name is Shankar and he's a trip, dude. He's a total trip. I could do a whole episode just about this man. But I was talking about kids and how much I love kids and and he's like, well, yeah, because they're unadulterated. Like if you think about it, like you become adult is literally in the word, and I was like, I have never thought about that.
Right.
It's like, yeah, because they're unadulterated. Yeah. That's why.
And
they're pure, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a trip because when we're growing up, like we try ourselves so hard. Like me, especially, like I remember being like an adult kid, you know, like from such a young age. I was like, I cannot wait to grow up. I cannot wait to be independent and have nobody to tell me anything from life and do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
And I feel like we grow ourselves so hard. We were kids to grow up fast.
Yeah.
And then when we're adults, we yearn to go backwards into that state of freedom and somebody to take care of us and somebody, and that requires so much unlearning in the end. Like we grow and learn, and then it's like a natural thing to unlearn, to go back to that kid's state where we're just free and unburdened.
I know. I always want to tell like my nieces and nephew, like, you guys don't realize how good you have it right now.
Yes. And I remember adults telling me like, please enjoy this season of your time. Like enjoy school. It's so much fun. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like
I just want to get out of here.
I just want to get out of here and be a singer and tour the world. And like, no, you don't. Like, Caro from the past. Trust me, you don't want that. You don't. Stop. Enjoy your school time.
Yeah. Okay, so moving into the present, how did your business evolve? Like once you figured out you wanted to go into the coaching space yourself and you wanted to maybe like intermingle some of your history as a singer into that coaching practice, but also your spiritual practices into that business, how did that kind of all come together?
So my coaching business has evolved with me.
Okay.
But also it has evolved with, I guess, the industry and the times we've lived.
Mm-hmm.
In the times that I've become a coach, we had a pandemic, which changed a lot around that business. But also a mental health awareness rapidly grown. When I started learning about coaching, there was not many points of reference here in Latin America. All my coaches were from the United States. All my teachings from the United States. And I remember having this like naivety, or I don't know, like just being there in the room with all American girls and maybe a few Europeans and being the only Latin woman in the room, being like, I need to take this to my people in Spanish because I'm so fortunate that I can speak English in such a great way and understand it. But the truth is, here in Latin America, we're always like 10 steps behind in everything. And so I was like, I need to use my privilege and take this back. But the industry has grown so much and mental health awareness has grown so much. And so now, from the point where I started to now, there's a lot of coaching and there's a lot of coaching that is not coaching as well. And so I've had to practice a lot of adaptability I've had to be really in tune with my intuition, because and just go for it without thinking about it too much, and just be really, really clear with what my mission is, and not get lost in the noise, because there's a lot of noise all the time. You know, the noise at the beginning was like, there's not enough coaches, but now the noise here is like, there's too many. You know, so there's always noise, and you just have to be really clear on what's your message, what's your voice, who are you serving, and why are you serving. That's the only thing that matters. And I swear to God that once that message is really clear, the energy will flow. And I noticed, like, when I'm misaligned with that message, the energy, like, you know, like this I don't know how to explain it, but when I'm super aligned, people come to me like a magnet. And so it has been changing, and I feel like if you're following a path like this, you have to be able to adapt and not get attached with one thing or one way of doing it, because, like I said before, I'm creating my own point of reference for myself. I was the first person to do dance therapy with my teacher, at least in Latin America. I was the first one. After me, they started coming with the years, but I was the first one to bring like that specific method of dance therapy to Latin America. And I was like, how do I explain this to people? Like, you know, and so it's been a while to create my own point of reference, but I also feel like to trust my visionary self. That sometimes it's like, I don't know what I'm doing until like some things work out and some things don't. But I would be lying if I told you that I have it all together. It's always changing. Because I am always changing.
Like you create a structure, but the things inside the structure change and evolve.
And sometimes the structure also changes. Like when I started doing workshops, self-love workshops in person here in Mexico City with my cousin, who is also a coach.
Oh, I love that.
And we started like selling out. In person, like 30 to 40 people of workshops in person. And then when the pandemic hit, like everything changed. So it was like really adapt really quickly to everything online. He was a little more slow, and then we like parted ways because my message was way more spiritual than his. But then I really dived into the online world, and now I don't do much workshops in person. And then I reached a lot of people from the world with the internet. And so I guess that's the thing. You have to be able to unattach of any form except your alignment with your message. Structures change, plans change, pandemics go, you know, like the internet, the availability of how many coaches and what is people liking right now. And you just have to be really clear and just stay with your message and be honest and aligned with that.
And how did you kind of find what your message was? Were you able to refine it over the years?
It's been, and I feel like it's a work of art.
I love that.
It's a work of art that you think it's done and it's never done. Your life, your life is a work of art. But my message, I guess, is always sharing and being of service of the teachings that I'm learning as well for myself. And so my message became a mixture of everything that I've lived through, so that people don't have to suffer their way through the way that I did, you know? And getting really creative and listening to the downloads from the universe and being really attuned with, how do I teach this? Like, how do I explain this? How do I create programs that are in a creative way, healing? And I don't know if that answered, like gave you the answer that you wanted to hear, but it's not like it came to me from one moment to the other. I just followed what was alive. And at first it was really, really self-love, and then it was like, okay, I found self-love, but there's a missing piece, which is spirituality and body. Like, self-love is not only standing in the mirror and saying, oh, I love you. No, you're missing the body part, and you're missing the spiritual part that holds you together while you're doing this messy work. And so then I incorporated that, and then I started following the body. And when I started following the body, a lot of other things started coming, and then the voice is part of the body. And so I started incorporating that. And when I incorporated that, then my message is, it's not that it has changed. It's getting like shape, as if you're doing like a structure, like a beautiful, like a beautiful piece. And you're like refining the sides, and then you're looking at another part that you're just getting to know, and it's like, oh, this also helps the sculpture, and maybe this material
but
can
like
also...
the core is the same.
Exactly.
Exactly. I really love that, because that's something I also experienced in my business, where when I came out with my digital course, The 6 Fig Freelance Writer, it was very much in my masculine and very like action oriented, and was like, here are the steps to like set up a business and scale it, and here's how to do all the things. And then I realized, okay, I'm completely missing the feminine. Like there's no like, the art, obviously creating a business is creation, but I was like, it's kind of like missing the freedom of expression that makes like the act of writing so fun. And that's when we got back from India, and that was kind of like channeled to me, was the right to heal, was like, okay, well, what if you just want to open that channel to start writing in the first place? Like, how do I connect with that? How do I start making room and space for a creative channel and a creative source to work through me? So
and this comes back to the conversation that we were having just a few minutes ago. Like, you don't figure it out and then you go for it. You actually need to go for it
to figure it out.
It out.
100%.
You find the message in the going for it, and you're most likely, like you and me, lucky enough that we have people that follow our crazy ideas, and then we can just like put them into place with this trust that even though we don't know what we're doing, we have something that is driving the truck. It's driving the boat. It's a vision. It's a clear vision. It's a clear inner alignment. And I feel like that's something that is missing from the coaching industry.
And we already know it works because it worked for us.
Exactly.
Because like I always love the piece of advice that's like, create something that is for you of 10 years ago, or the you of 5 years ago. Like that version of yourself needed. And now that you have all of that information, now you can share it.
And I always tell people, because people through coaching look for me, like finding their purpose or finding their unique voice, or how can they like express, which is something that you also do. How can they find their own thing in their areas of expertise or whatever? And I always tell them that there's no one like you. There's no one with your story, with your same story, not even your siblings. And therefore your message is unique. And so like the coaching industry, I feel like it's stuck because so many people are doing the same thing. Completely mishonoring like their own experience of life and going through the safe path of like, oh, I know this works. I'm going to teach scaling in business or whatever it is that the people teach, and they follow somebody else's path. But the truth is like the true success for me comes if you dare to be vulnerable and create your path that holds your story as part of your message. Because there's no way that can go wrong, because nobody knows your message, your life, your experience better than you do.
And that's really funny, because that's the exact advice I give to like my book clients. Because my client that I work with, that I get a lot of my book clients from, worked with Grant Cardone, who's like very well known in like the real estate investing community. So now a lot of his students come to us wanting to write their books. And they give me like the bare bones, like the table of contents outline of their book. And it's the same book that he wrote. And I'm like, we already wrote this book. And so I'm like, look, like 100 people can write the same real estate investing book. The only thing that's going to differentiate yours from everybody else's is your story. So like think about money and the energetics of money. It has so much. It has like a garga, you know what I mean? So I'm like, tell me your money story. Like what was your relationship with money 100%. Growing up? Why now do you want to invest in? Why do you want to build this wealth? Is it for you? Is it for generational wealth? Like, tell me that. And I like really dig into that, because is what's going to differentiate their book, and it's going to make it their story. It's like, of course 10 people could put like action steps 1 through 10. But if you tell me like, you know, maybe like I grew up really poor, my family didn't have access to real estate, like that was never something I dreamed I could do. Now I have this resource. Now I want to create something for generations after me, you know, because then I'm like, oh, okay, now you're telling me your why behind the book.
Exactly. And the thing is that people really resonate with the energy of it.
Yeah.
Like if you're not being like, if you're telling your story on a superficial level, that's the people you're gonna attract.
100%.
People that are attracted to a superficial level, and people who are probably not even gonna finish your book because it's a superficial thing.
Yeah.
But when you're really true, really true from a deep perspective, and you express that truthness and rawness of who you are as a human being to the world, then you're gonna attract people that resonate with that message.
Yeah.
That's it. And you just have to trust that the right people are gonna come to you. And I feel like that's everything, because if we know that, then there's no competition.
Yeah.
Like, I am 100% sure that the women that resonate with me as a coach, I am the right coach for that time of their life and for that lesson that they are living at that moment. And there's nobody else who can compete with me with that, because I just trust that the universe is bringing the resonance, the frequency that it's going to help me and them to transcend whatever they are doing. And the same with books, and the same with stories, the same with movies. It's the same. Like, why do people resonate with, I don't know, the K-pop, and there's people that don't?
Yeah. And I feel like this can apply to so many areas of life. Like,
everything.
even if you're like land in a new city and you're looking for community, if you put yourself out there and share your message in a form, like the way that you interact with people, that's going to bring the right people to you. Same thing with dating. 100%. Same thing with, like, if you run a business and you're an entrepreneur and looking for clients, like, it's all the same, like, energetics.
And energy never lies.
Yeah.
Like, when you're not being truly vulnerable and you're not really showing who you are in every area of your life, people can tell.
Yeah.
Like, people really can tell.
Yeah.
Because energy never lies. And so if energy never lies and people can tell, and the only thing that is left is being vulnerable and just daring to connect and daring to show yourself and maybe creating magic from that, then why not?
Yeah.
I feel that's like the entire point. Like, being bold. Why not? Like,
why not?
Why not, people? Why not?
Why not? Life is short.
It is short to be inside of a closet and not being truthfully you.
Yeah.
Or trying to be somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like things like the earthquake or, the pandemic, things that shine a light on how precious it is that we are here and we have this time can really help us put things into perspective. But the moment that light is taken away, like now the pandemic is like 5 years behind us, people forget again.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you're able to realize that and then carry that with you, it can help you, keep refining and keep putting yourself out there in a way that you're like, oh, that's right. Like, this is my only shot.
Yeah. And I also think that everyone's path is really different. Like, I was really lucky, and I really consider myself lucky to have found my rock bottom so young. I was 25 when I got here to Mexico City. I was a baby. Of course, I felt like the most adult person in the entire being. But there's people who find their rock bottom until they're in their 50s, in their 60s. Yeah. And that's when they find their purpose as well. And I really don't think that you need to ignore yourself that long. Yeah. Because the voice is always there. You just get used to it, to ignoring it. Yeah. And so I don't know who's listening to this, but if there's a voice inside that it's telling you to try something, just freaking go for it. Like, if there's one message that we can get out of this, because you and I both operate in the same way. Yeah. Personally, as coaching, just take steps. Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think one thing, if somebody is wondering, how am I able to listen to my intuition more? How am I able to create a connection with my intuition, a stronger connection? Mm-hmm. It's, you have to listen to it and act on it. Because if you hear it and you ignore it, it's going to get fainter and fainter. But if you even take a small step that your intuition is telling you to do, it'll get louder and louder and keep pushing you in the right direction. Exactly. So literally the only way to create a stronger connection with your intuition is to listen to it and act on it. Exactly. It's like dating. Yeah. You have to date your intuition, basically. But think about it. Like, and I always explain this when I was trying to explain self-love to people. I was like, okay, if you're going out on a Tinder date, you just match to somebody. Yeah. Right? And the first few conversations is like, like, I don't know, I just know your pictures. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
like, I need more information
Yeah.
to see if this is something or not. How do you get more information? You go out on a one date, then you go out on a second date, then you maybe kiss the person, or maybe you kissed in the first, you know, like,
Yeah.
there are certain steps that need to happen so that you build a trustworthy relationship
Yeah.
with any human being. That process applies to yourself as well.
Yeah.
Like, you need to date that inner voice of that intuition. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm listening to this thing that is not making any sense, but what if I act on it?
Yeah.
What happens? Maybe you act on it once, and then that's how you start building trust on that voice and listening to it. But there's no way around it. You literally have to act on it. Like, you cannot think your way out of it.
Yeah.
You just have to do the step.
And I just recorded an episode on synchronicities and how, like, a lot of times, for example, like the synchronicity of me going to Atma one day for what I thought was a yoga class, and it was a meditation class. And I was like, well, fuck it, I'm already here. I might as well do this meditation thing. And then afterwards being like, oh, we're doing our first 50-hour meditation group. We have 2 spots left. And I was just like, I was just like, fuck. Like, that's why I came to what I thought was a yoga class. That's a meditation class, because I'm supposed to do this thing.
Yeah.
And that led to me meeting Miguel, my partner, and like some of my best friends, and like this whole like snowball effect from there.
Yeah.
So.
And I see myself the same way here. When I arrived to Mexico City, it was based on pure intuition. There was no rational thing. Like, imagine me being at 25, depressed as hell.
Yeah.
Like, not leaving my room for weeks, and suddenly being like, I think I need to go to Mexico. Out of the blue. And it's like, okay, maybe I can take like this coaching course. And then getting on the plane and being like, what am I doing? Like, and then being in the coaching course, like, oh wow, this makes sense. And then coming to Mexico City and the freaking city coming down on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow, like, did I just come for this? And
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
To like help.
I remember being like, literally like a few days after the earthquake, just like observing myself in the middle of the chaos, being like, what are the odds of coming to Mexico to one of the biggest earthquakes in 30 years, being in the middle of it and finding myself surrounded by people helping with like a vest and like and a helmet and everything, and I'm being like, this is not random. Like, this is not random. And I can see back and be like, fuck yeah, that was not rational or random. Like, it was just pure following the voice. Like, go here. Don't go inside of that building. Stay out.
That's crazy.
Stay out. Wait. Go. Now. Run. Go there. You need to help here. Like, that voice, and just like listening and going, and feel like the voice is always inside.
Yeah, and it's because you took that first big leap of coming to Mexico City that you were able to hear it more and more and connect with it.
It's a practice. It is a practice, but if you never start, you're never gonna know how it is. So we all have it. Yeah. It's just a matter of when are you gonna listen to it and act on it.
Yeah, and start dating it.
And start dating it and falling in love.
Oh, I love this. Thank you so much for joining me. Much. Do you have any programs, anything coming up you would like to share, and or you can share how people can find you?
Okay, so you can find me in my social media through La Vida de Caro. And what's the dash in the bottom?
Oh, underscore.
On the underscore.
I was like, oh God.
La Vida de Caro underscore. That's where you can find my coaching business. I coach online in English and Spanish. And if you're a woman and you're trying to find yourself with this connection, disconnected from your body and too much in your mind, maybe I can help. And if you're having this voice inside that it's like, oh, I kind of know, but I'm not sure how to act upon it, I can help. Like, I'm a great coach with transitions, with connection from the mind to the body, and also if you're just interested in deep inner heartfelt music that connects you to the heart and just to be at your home and your space and your rituals, then you can find my music on Spotify as Caro Pérez with CAROPE, and then you can find me like that on Instagram as well, Caro Pérez Music. And I can
speak personally to the voice coaching. It works. It's very beautiful.
Thank you,
Reconnecting
Marla.
with your voice is very special, and I highly recommend it if anyone is looking for that.
Thank you, Lolly, my love.
Thank you
I
for
love you.
coming.
Thank you for the invitation.
And
Goodbye,
thank you,
people.
everyone.
Adiosito.
Thank you for listening. Ciao.